It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chili Falls.
Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to an unscheduled broadcast of travel and cruise industry news. I'm Chili Falls, coming to you from Forest, Virginia. Actually, there's two reasons that I'm doing this today, folks, and nobody knows about it. So if you happen to see that I'm live and hop in, it would be appreciated. One, I'm testing my repairs to the computer to see if, in fact, there's Steve. Hi, Steve. Let me know if I'm breaking up, Steve, on the audio side of things. If you would, please, I would appreciate it. But I got my improvements into the computer, and now got to see if it works. The other reason that I did this, there's two pretty substantial stories this afternoon. So I just thought I'd do a little annex to today's show. Sounds good so far. Outstanding. Thank you, Steve. All right, so the two things that I want to talk about today, folks, and quite frankly, this isn't all my doings because I've quickly just looked up stories, and this is a really good story that my friends over at Cruise Hive put up, and I'm going to use their story here because it's an area that we've talked about a little bit and haven't had a chance to really get into. But in light of the tensions in Haiti following a recent prison break and months of escalating violence, Royal Caribbean International has provided a statement and explained their concerns, as well as steps that are being taken to ensure all guests are safe and can enjoy the visit to Labadee. Labadee, of course, is Royal Caribbean's private like a private island. However, it's not an island. It's on a resort on the mainland. So that leads up to, some interesting, hi, Kenneth, leads up to some interesting problems, possibly. But Labadee is Royal Caribbean International's private 260-acre resort destination on the north coast of Haiti. Unlike many other private destinations, they are actually on distinct islands, like all the private islands in the Bahamas. Those are actually islands. Labadee is not. It's on the mainland. That, of course, is added to the concern with the prison break that freed 4,000 criminals in Port-au-Prince. How many have they caught? We don't know. Are they still out on the loose? We don't know. Could this cause difficulties with cruise travel, either in terms of safety while visiting Labadee or with canceled sailings or replacement ports of call to avoid Haiti altogether? Well, Royal Caribbean's going to let us know on that one, I hope. Cruise Hive reached out to Royal Caribbean International to inquire about the cruise line's plans and received a statement about safety concerns and how operations in Haiti are being handled. And this is a quote from the statement. The safety of our guests and crews is top priority. Yeah. So you always say that. Our global security teams are closely monitoring the situation in the area. At all times, we remind guests to remain aware of their surroundings while ashore and follow all State Department guidelines. Should any changes be required, guests will be notified directly. So, Royal Caribbean also states that the civil unrest in Port-au-Prince is 128 miles south of our private destination, which equates to a 6.5-hour drive on the nation's roads. 128 miles, 6.5 hours? You can only go 20 miles an hour on those roads? I don't know. I've never driven in Haiti, so I can't respond to that. Because Labadee is a private destination, only cruise guests and approximately 300 employees are permitted at the location. Cruise line also has private security to ensure limited access to Labadee. And I appreciate the fact that they've got private security, but what bothers me about it is, what if you get a big mass of these convicted convicts that escaped? They could overwhelm Well, security. Guests visiting Labadee are not permitted to leave the resort at any time for their safety and comfort. In the meantime, we're continuing to monitor the situation very closely with local authorities and our security team. All operations in Labadee are fully functional and available to all guests visiting the fun and engaging port of call. So that includes the zip line, the tail coaster, beaches, market, water sports, walking trails, all that. So for now, at least, Labadee's open and no visits have been canceled. So good for them. Uh, that's that's excellent. Excellent. So, all right, the other story today, folks, that I thought worth mentioning goes from our friends up in New York. We talked about this also a couple times before, and that has to do with shore power. So, the New York City Council has approved landmark legislation aimed at reducing emissions from cruise ships docked at the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal and the Manhattan Cruise Terminal. The new law will require ships to utilize shoreside power connections where available. But what about cruise ships not yet updated to access a local power grid? In a unanimous vote yesterday, members of the New York City Council voted to pass legislation titled Introduction 4A, Our Air, Our Water Act, designated to significantly cut harmful emissions from cruise ships docked with engines running at Brooklyn and Manhattan. Now, keep in mind, folks, Brooklyn has shoreside power. Manhattan does not. Without a shoreside power source, cruise ships must keep engines running to operate hotel services while docked, causing harmful emissions from fossil fuels. More ships are being outfitted with shoreside power technology, but there is a long way to go before all cruise vessels has the capability. Cruise Line International, that's CLIA, has stated a goal of net zero carbon industry by 2050. The text of the legislation reads, this is not what I thought it was, folks. This bill would alter terms of contract between the city and the New York City Economic Development Corporation by requiring EDC to compel cruise terminal operators to require cruise ships with shore power capability to connect to shore power systems when docked, whenever shore power is available. Well, of course, and it's safe and practical to do so. The key phrase is require cruise ships with shore power capability because the bill's text does not indicate any mandate for ships that are not equipped for shoreside connections. Okay, I don't mind that. You want to require it? Fine, but you got to provide it. Where's the part that says, we'll have shoreside power in Manhattan, next year or whatever it's going to be. The Manhattan Terminal is the bigger of the two and serves Norwegian, Disney, Seabourn, Viking, and Oceania, among others. The Brooklyn, which serves Cunard and Princess, was outfitted, and also MSC, by the way, was outfitted with shoreside power for cruise ships in 2017, but connections are not always used because the sockets the terminal installed are not compatible with all cruise ships. Well, that needs to be fixed. These impediments to full utilization of shoreside power would have to be removed before any meaningful level of emission reduction can be achieved. Still, the New York City Council appears to see the passage of the legislation as a step forward. Today, the council is passing critical legislation to protect and support residents who live in communities around our city terminals. Man, but you're still not answering the real question. You got to have the shore power before you can make the ships connect to it. In addition to addressing engine emissions at the docks of the two terminals, the legislation has a traffic component requiring the create and update traffic mitigation plans in the neighborhoods around each terminal. Well, that's, yeah, because traffic or cruise terminals in New York stinks. So I'm glad that they're doing that. But I'm telling you, folks, the city council in New York, somebody needs to say, okay, we need a bill to provide this. We need to fund it. We need to, whatever it takes, borrow it. You know, go down to the local bookie and borrow some of his money. I don't know. You got to put the power in, folks. I agree with what they're trying to do, and I find that they're saying if you don't have shore power, then you can't sail here. You can't dock here. That's fine, but you got to have shore power before you can implement that. Wow, sometimes people dealing with the cruise industry just you know they just don't seem to understand. Okay, that's in fact what I was wanted to do today was to talk about those two things. All right, so checking over here in the chat room, getting some minor breakups. Yeah, breaking up. Damn it. It comes and goes. Better now. There it goes again. Thank you, Steve. All right. Let's see. Can I do that? Yeah. I'm going to make a change of things here while I'm on the air. Don't run away, Steve. I'm hoping I can do this without losing it. So let's put this in. Okay, so I'm going to change the settings. I'm going to take the headset audio off. Mic, headset, Logitech, Yeti. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 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 testing. Okay, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, can you hear me now, Steve? I'll keep talking here for a second. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I should not be muted. Yeah, I hear you. Is it clearer than it was on the headset? That's and is it breaking up at all? Yeah, well, I'll just sit here and chat a little bit. Okay, so the other thing I can talk about, folks, while we're doing this, is that microphone sounds really good. Okay, then that's what I will use is the microphone until I go on a cruise, and then I'll have to because I can't carry this microphone with me; it's too damn heavy. All right, so that sounds good. No breakup so far. All right, so I'll do one other thing while I'm on this. So it's, I showed you the thing from John that he did yesterday for my cruise, my Alaska cruise. So we took it a step further and went on to my next cruise as far as bookings go at this point. Now, that's the subject to change, folks. But the next cruise, which is one of my hot air Tom cruises, is this. Let me see if I've got to come back over here to brand, and I've got to add an overlay, which I will do now. And it just amazes me that Nanook of the North John can whip these things out in 5 minutes, and I struggled like crazy doing it. Okay, the next cruise with Chili Cruise, which is also going to be a hot air Tom cruise. We're going to go from Boston to Quebec. Now, there's going to be another one going from Quebec back to Boston, but that's a different cruise. I mean, if you want to do both, I mean, and call me to book it, I can book the 14-day, which will save on some headaches. But anyway, we'll do both, and I can do either. Solo starts at $1,000. This is not a cheap cruise. This is not a bargain cruise. I don't want anybody to think that they're getting a tremendous deal. This is in the fall, and you're going to New England and Canada, so you got early leaves and all that stuff, all the way up through the St. Lawrence Seaway to Quebec. So it's not cheap. Solo cabins start at $1,000 plus $472 taxes and port charges. If you're a couple at double occupancy, it's $629 per person. The cruise leaves from Boston. Day one is in Bar Harbor, and I have been assured that despite all the Bar Harbor problems, they in fact will be allowing the gym in there on this cruise in September. So this is on the NCL gym, by the way, in case you missed that part. Sails on September the 6th from Boston. Day 2 is in Bar Harbor. Day 3 is in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Day 4 is in Sydney. Day 5 is in Charlottetown. Of course, that's Prince Edward Island. Day 6 is a day cruising along the St. Lawrence River. St. Lawrence Seaway, whatever it was called both. On day 7 is in La Baie. And day 8 into Quebec City. I've not been to Quebec. I don't know if I'll be able to if I'll have time to get off the ship in Quebec, because that's a turnaround day, because we're turning around and sailing right back. But so I don't know what's going to happen in Quebec. But anyway, then there will be another cruise coming back. I would think the pricing is going to be similar on it for another 7-day cruise back to Boston. But I'll try to get that to John this weekend. I'll price it out to make sure and get that to John. Of course, this is with the other thing that's working on this. Norwegian keeps running the special with the all 4 deals, and I ran an all 4 on an inside for this, and it only added like $150, $180 on or something. So if you call interested in this and we try to pin it down to get the exact price and the exact cabin and so forth, it will price it both ways with the all 4, which is, of course, drinks package, 150 minutes of Wi-Fi, which sucks. You still have to get a Wi-Fi package if you're going to use it for anything. A specialty dining restaurant, and $50 per excursion booked. You get a credit to your account for that. And it is done. That Norwegian, that's their big thing. It's all 4, it's called. So, but if we can pick that up for $100, $150, $180, even $200, I mean, that's a bargain, no matter what the price of the cruise is. So anyway, here's another one. Cruise with Chili. I'm going to start doing those on a regular basis. The phone number there that's not to being some travel agent. That's to me. And I'll do the bookings, myself. And we'll see if we get any people on it. Automatic. I mean, before we start, Hot Air Tom and I are definitely on it. We've been booked on this thing for a year. So if you're interested, let me know. All right, so that's the next cruise with Chili. I'll start promoting that too and get it out there on some of my social media things and whatnots. Let's see if anybody. Joanne's with us. Hi, Joanne. I will be with JJ Cruz at this time. Glad you're going to be with JJ. I haven't seen the boys for a while. I'm missing them. Sounding great so far. Okay, so at least I've got one thing fixed. And I can't use the headset microphone. So maybe that's been the problem all along. So, anyway. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for today. I'll stay on top of the news over the weekend in case anything else happens, like these two little stories that crept up this afternoon. And I thought, what the heck? Let's do a show. Let's run some tests on this new little thingy that I got. It's a USB-C plug port. Something. I didn't know what that meant. My computer guy laughed at me. And when he said, "Oh, well, you need to get a USB-C," I'm thinking, what the hell is he talking about? The Coast Guard? So I didn't know what that meant. So now I know what it is, and I got to plug the C thing. And this, by the way, folks, is the computer that's screwed up forever. And I haven't been using. I've been using the old broken down computer. So I used this new plug thingy and a port that I got to plug all this crap in, and it's in. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up, guys, for the late in the day on Friday. If something happens over the weekend, I'll see you again. Thanks for being with me. Smash that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, just jumped in and consider subscribing. Doesn't cost anything. Helps us out a bunch. We do this 5 days a week at 11 a.m. normally, and but when something happens, we'll go on. So this was a couple news stories. Plus, it gives me a chance to test and give me a chance to plug a cruise, and so that's it. All right. Happy Friday evening, everybody. Y'all have a great night. I'll probably see you again this weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, chilly chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chili's Cruises.